Hey everybody, good morning. Saturday morning, right? That's when you're tuning in. It is BATJAC J.W. and this is it. Usual Saturday morning show. And thanks for tuning in, listening. We're glad to have everybody that's tuned in and everybody that has definitely signed on. Maybe it's not in the morning for you. Maybe it is in the afternoon. Or maybe it's late morning. Maybe it's brunch. Dinner? Maybe you're, I don't know. So whenever you're tuned in. But that's the beauty of it, right? You always tune in anytime you want. So, and let's look at some shout outs here and some comments from you all. So that's always the fun part of it all. You get to read your comments and get in touch with everybody. So see what we got going on here. All right. And it says, okay. Yeah, we got Mr. Zonacat 1. He says, on your suggestion, I stopped by the Frontier Gun Shop. I only had a few minutes, but I see what you mean about older, cool stuff. They will be getting some of my money in the future, as I liked a lot of the older stuff when I first moved to Tucson. It took me a while to get settled. It will work out for you, my friend. And that is from Mr. Zonacat 1. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yes, Frontier Gun Shop is absolutely loaded with all kinds of neat stuff. Really cool. And we have, another comment here. He says, I can't wait to see the videos of the shop. And that is from Jamie, sorry Jamie, Outhead? I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Jamie. So, but yeah, getting that video will be coming up soon. Just trying to put it together and trying to go back to that place and take a look at it. Make sure I'm not missing anything. There's so much. I'm sure Mr. Zonacat, you saw that. There's so much there you possibly could miss. So you got to really shop around there. Of course, we have Varen K, and he says, if we love guns, you can bet we will all have overpaid for that gun. Yeah, most times, there's a lot of times we've overpaid for that certain gun. Mainly, we just had to have it, right? All right, we got one here. Belated good morning, BATJAC. Yes, I agree. Go for the T's. That is Bob Hartman. Thank you. Okay. And we have Gunfighter 45 ACP. He says, I hate overpaying for a gun too. Yes. It can lead me to being overly cheap on the next one. Or miss out on one. Yeah. Yeah, we should definitely. Here we go. Santee, troublemaker here. Ooh, T-shirts. That's a good idea. How about Speedos? Right. You know what, Santee? The minute we see some Arizona Ghost Rider Speedos, maybe we'll. All right. Lion Quest Fitness says filming is trial and error, and ain't that the truth? Yes, it is. Anytime you turn on the camera or recorder, I tell you, sound or interruptions, it seems to find you no matter what. Edward Petty says, I hope you find the right job enjoying the show. Thank you, Edward. I appreciate that. We always hope that we find employment and the right one, and we want to stick around with it. Right? It pays us good. What was it say? It pays us enough to not quit and a paycheck enough to stay or something. I don't know. I forget. There was a quote on that somewhere. I forget who it was. Joe P. Good morning, JW. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Joe. We got Jeffrey Richardson says, good morning. All right. We got a big thumbs up there, an American flag. It's good stuff. MP Gunther 1, enjoy your show. Knowing the value of what you intend to buy helps to keep you from overpaying. Always research the item. Yes, absolutely. The big thing is going to a gun show. You got to really know what you're looking at. It helps a lot because a lot of that stuff, if you can sift through it, there's some good stuff in there, but the price tags may not be matching what it should be, and definitely knowing when you're overpaying for something. Especially if you're getting into collector stuff, you don't want, the minute you pay the collector's price, as they say, you won't make money on it. There's very little chance you're going to make any money on it because you've now paid the collector's price. So you always pay lower than the thing is worth, so you always have room in case you need to sell it to make money. Alright, we have a Richard Landeros. Love the show, man. Keep them coming. Let's see here. Whoops. Keep them coming. Few I have BATJAC. Will you ever do some videos on such as an M4 or the AK-47 or MP5 or Terminator 2? What was that model? The Terminator 2, yeah, was the lever action, yeah, 1887. You got it, lever action shotgun. Some people say lever. I don't know. Or a Spencer rifle. Absolutely. I mean, if I ever get my hands on any of this stuff, you bet I will. I always look for anything that I can get my hands on and do a video on it and check it out. Yeah, I will never turn down the opportunity. A lot of guns on the channel. I'm very fortunate to have people say, hey, you know, hey, I got this gun, you want to check it out, you know? And I say, yeah, absolutely, I want to check it out, you know, so do a video on it, you know, if they allow me to do a video. Speaking of the lever action shotgun, there's actually, I've seen them at gun shows, and I know there's a, I think it's like Century Arms or somebody, it's one of those people, they have an import one that's kind of on the lower, inexpensive line. And I've been looking at that one. But also, no joke, and I know some people may find it, they go, well, you know, they kind of look down on it. But airsoft stuff, the airsoft guns have come such a long way from where they originally first started. And there is a lever action 1897 airsoft gun that has the shells and everything. It's pretty neat, just for the nostalgia of having it. I believe it's metal and wood, and it's pretty well done. They're not cheap, but you know, you got to kind of balance that out. If you know, it's kind of hard sometimes when you're a gun guy, you know, to pay a lot of money for something that's not actually a workable firearm, I guess. Well, it will shoot plastic BBs. All right, so we have Scott F. It says, if a job is not right, it is best to move on. So, and kudos to you. Nice show as always. Good stuff. Thank you, Scott, man. That's appreciated as always. Yeah, you know, if you don't feel like the job is right, or you feel like the sacrifice that you make for the job in the end is not worth it, definitely move on. You know, definitely do not sit there and continue on. You know, try to find something. You know, being happy in life is really key. It's very important, because if you don't, you know, you don't want to spend the rest of your life, or you know, or a big chunk of your time that we do not, you know, that is a blessing, not a given. You know, you don't want to spend it, especially being around people that are not, you know, not exactly fun to be around. You know, you be around people that are just like, their attitude just sucks, and you definitely don't want to be around that. I know I don't. All right, Bernard Flood, greetings from Ireland, all the way from Ireland. Awesome. My favorite Chuck Norris movie is Lone Wolf McQuade. All right, good choice. It's a good one. I just bought it. I just bought a Chuck Norris movie that was at a pawn shop. I scooped up some. Good prices. They were like 50 cents a piece. I just picked up Delta Force on Blu-ray, 50 cents. I couldn't turn it down. All right. This is layaway is a great idea to get the great way to get stuff, as they will hold the item and let you pay gradually. Yes. Layaway has enabled me to buy a lot of stuff that I definitely did not have the cash right away to just shell out. So layaway is awesome, and it can be dangerous too, right? You put a bunch of stuff on layaway, or you go to multiple shops and you're just like, wait, how many layaway items do I have out there? Okay, it is nice to spread the burden out a bit. You nailed that one good there, Bernard. All right, EB Saint says, you are so right about walking away. Most times when you go back later, folks are willing to deal, and that's a really satisfying feeling. Yes, knowing, EB Saint, definitely, knowing the walk away. When you're dealing with the deal, the walk away is important. You really, as much as it may pain you, but you got to remember, the thing that it's tough to remember it too, because a lot of times you're caught in the moment, emotions are going, it's something you really want, and you got to remember that it's not the last one. There's plenty of them out there. You just gotta, just kind of, let it go. Sometimes you really do, because you wind up you get emotional about it. You get all jittery and itchy, and you gotta have it, and you wind up overpaying for it. And in the end, you kind of go, oh, it's gonna be always that one. You're gonna be like, man, I remember that one. I really overpaid for that, and it kind of bothers you a little bit. And then it will really bother you more when you find it again when you're not looking for it, and it's like a lot more cheaper than what you paid. And the only person that made out with that is the fellow that sold it to you. They're laughing all the way to the bank. Okay. Douglas Walther. He says, great show. Good luck with the new job. Looking forward to the gun shop video. Thanks, J.W. Thank you very much there, Douglas. I'm definitely going to put that video together. Again, like I said, I want to make sure I captured the full effect of that shop, and being that the owner is allowing it and everything, so that's really neat. So, really cool guy. Frontier Gun Shop, again, you guys know, I don't like to plug people that don't, per se, deserve it, in a sense. I don't mean to sound mean or anything about that, but, I like, like the guy at Frontier, he's a really good fella. A really good guy, really awesome, down-to-earth guy. He's pretty realistic with a lot of his prices. And, and the same thing goes with, like, Badman bullets. I've been reloading a lot my own my cartridges and stuff that I shoot, especially when you're shooting, like, 45 and 44 special, stuff like that, where it can be pretty expensive to buy it from a gun shop. Reloading it, and of course I've been using the Badman bullets, their bullet, polymer coated stuff, or just the cast lead, and they're good people. And Pat over there at the Badman Bullets is a really good guy, and I wouldn't talk about it or advertise it or plug him in these videos if it wasn't good products or he wasn't a good guy. It's like there's always a trade-off. You don't want to go to a place where, well, the guy's a real jerk, but the products are good. I don't like that. I'll be like, you know what? Even though maybe it's a good product, it's a good price, but the guy's a real jerk, I think I'll support somebody else that maybe appreciates my business, something like that. So that's what I'm getting at there. If I'm plugging people or talking about their, their business or whatever, it's generally really good stuff. Like same thing with Spitfire wax bullets there. With them. They sent me along the rifle loading wax bullet cartridge that they got. It's really neat. It's powered by 209 shot shell primer. It's got a heavy cantilever around the brass, and then it allows that unique wax bullet to fit down in there and kind of stop, and it performs like a actual cartridge. You can load that in your lever action gun and shoot it, and that's just wax. That's super cool, and you get the full effect of the pop and the wax and everything, and then shell ejecting, right? Who doesn't like that in a whole West lever gun? So, okay. And last but not least, we got Russ Elder. Thank you, Russ. You've been a subscriber for a long time, always leaving comments and positive stuff. So thank you, Russ. And good luck with your new job. Something will break your way. You're a good guy, and you just need the right guy to notice. Thank you, Russ. I really appreciate that, man. You guys are super supportive of me, and it's much great appreciation here on the channel for being part of the team and being a subscriber to the BATJAC J.W channel and making all this happen for me. So, okay. We got the comments there. We're looking up. Hey, you know what? Check this out. You know what? Actually, those of you that have been subscribed to the BATJAC J.W radio show channel on YouTube, that's my second channel, by the way. You already kind of know about this. I talked about it, but check this out. You know what I'm going to have to drink? This is a really, I stumbled across this on accident. You guys know, just so you know, in case you don't know, I love root beer. Root beer is probably my favorite soda pop drink, soda, whatever, soft drink. And and of course sarsaparilla. Oh, it's hard to turn down sarsaparilla for me. That's my thing. But I went into Albertsons and I found this stuff. It's literally called Brownie Caramel Cream Root Beer. And it says since 1929. Nice old school label there. Really cool stuff. But I'm going to have some of this. It's really good. Yeah. This is probably one of the most creamiest root beer caramel type drink I've ever had. And it's weird. I find it, and I think this might be weird to some people, but I find it that it is tastier poured into a glass than out of the bottle, the glass bottle. I don't know. Call me strange, but I think there's a difference in taste. I don't know. Maybe it's just me going nuts, or I don't know. But good stuff. It actually, I think part of it, if you look at, I was looking at what the ingredients in it. One of the cool things is there's no corn syrup in it. They do not do the corn syrup bit, so that's good. And it contains milk. I know I'm really selling it here, right? You would think I'm sponsored by them or something, but I'm not. I just stumbled across it. It's really good. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like it. I shared one with my friend Dan today. I let him taste one, and he really liked it too. So, hey Santee, I better turn you on to this. I better let you try it. Maybe Santee's already tried it. You never know. You never know. That guy drinks all sorts of stuff. I heard he drinks bourbon. Oh, Santee, great fellow. Okay. I told the story before on the channel. I have talked about it. I remember when I was looking for the Colt War I reproduction 1911, and that was something that I absolutely just went crazy trying to find. And it just, to me, whenever I thought about the 1911, long before I even bought a 1911, I knew that I wanted what looked like the old school 1911s, the old government military style. That was always my favorite. I really didn't have the interest in the souped up or the fancy ones with all the high rad beaver tail and all the which I'm not knocking. It's good stuff. I totally understand it, but there was this soft spot in me that wanted the old military look. And of course, Colt, and their name, their name alone, just hold what it means to firearms in general, especially when you start thinking about 1911s and stuff. It's kind of like that thing where, it's a motorcycle, yes, but then there's something when it's a Harley Davidson motorcycle. It's kind of like that. Yes, it's a 1911, but there's something when it's a Colt 1911. I don't know. It's just something neat. And the name sounds cool. Come on, Colt. Yeah, So, hey, I remember now when I did my first video with it. If you guys remember, I did a kind of I tipped my hat a little bit to Hickok 45, and I'm sure everybody knows who he is. I've watched a lot of his videos long before I was doing YouTube and everything. But that's how I found out about that gun, was watching Hickok 45's videos on his 1911 when I saw the Colt reproduction, and I saw him break out that little cardboard box and everything. That I got so jittery and antsy, I had to have that gun, and I thought, well, it does exist. Now I know it exists. Thanks to Hickok, I know it exists. So, of course, I went on a search for one. So I couldn't find one for a long time there. I think it was like 2-3 years, something like that. Wound up walking into a friend of mine's shop back in Hawaii, and he had one. It was in the box and everything, and I bought it. I bought it right there on the spot. I told him, I said, I can't leave without it, so give me the price. So, yeah, I wound up getting it. Really, still one of my favorite 1911s, bar none. It's just totally awesome. The fact that you get hammer bite from it and all that stuff, it just makes that gun awesome. That root beer is good. So, from that point on, yeah, just always having to buy 1911s. I remember when the first 1911 I ever owned was a Remington R1. Yes, if you can believe that. That's how that. It took me a while to buy a 1911. Let's see, when was my first? Believe it or not, when I first started to buy guns, I didn't the 1911 wasn't the first thing I bought, which is odd, because I even find that odd for me that I would have not, that I actually bought other guns before I bought a 1911. But once you get the 1911 fever and you start buying them up, you really understand why they're an addiction. But I bought the Remington R1 because it was a kind of a throwback to the old original one. And then as I started to get more educated with them and understand what I was looking at and the differences and everything, that's when I started to look into brands and things. And I remember wanting to buy a Colt. And I went to a fella that, is a good buddy of mine, and he said, he tried to make me buy something else. And I said, no, I want a Colt. I told a friend of mine at work that I work with, a very close friend of mine, very near and dear to me. Back when I was working at the gun counter at a big box store, I was telling him I wanted this 1911, a Colt 1911. And he told me to go up and see this guy at this little hunting store. And I said, oh, okay. I said, I've never actually been there. So I went there, met this guy, really nice fella. And he said, yeah, no problem. He started looking, and, next thing you know, I found one on Gunbroker or something like that. And he said, yeah, and at this time I did not have a Gunbroker account. And if you guys, some of you that go way back with my channel, you know the story of me and a Gunbroker account and not having one, and how funny that was. Yeah, Popeye's chicken. Anyhow, I believe I have a video on that. I do. I don't recall what it's. It might even be called Popeye's chicken or something. But I went to him and I said, hey, can you get this, gun for me off of Gunbroker? I don't have a Gunbroker account. He says, very much. He just right away he said, yeah, I'll get it for you. He just went on there with his own account and bought it, and I just paid him the money, and it came into the shop, and I'll never forget, it was the Colt government model or something, one of the 1911s. And it was one that was told to me that it was it was junk. Don't get it. Don't waste your money. It's one of my favorites. It definitely, of course, I just said that about the World War I Repro, but it's a great 1911. It's one that I really like and always kept it. I even bought the blue padded zipper bag that says Colt and everything. I bought that from Colt themselves. I have a video called "You're a Colt Fan" when you have all that stuff. So, it has the nice rosewood grips, the gold Colt medallion in the middle of those grips. Beautiful, beautiful gun. It's like a piece of artwork. The guy was really nice, and I wound up bringing in more guns through him, and long and behold, I wound up getting a job there. And that guy that ran the hunting store was the guy that got me very versed and knowledgeable about the gun business. He had an FFL at that shop, obviously, and I got to get in there and do things, and I ran that shop. He went over to open another shop over in another island, and that was my little shop that I ran. And I tell you, sometimes, yeah, I do look back and say, gosh, am I crazy for leaving Hawaii where I had, this shop that I ran. I mean, I was kind of my own boss, and didn't have to answer to somebody else. Maybe somebody that had a bad attitude because they were sick all the time or something. But it was like, I didn't. It was just me, and it was the guy that owned the place, and he was super cool and super nice, and I just had to take care of the customers. So I guess long story short, buying 1911s, it's quite a journey for me. I picked them up all over the place. Getting even right down to getting a nice vintage World War II 1911 through some buddies of mine that knew I was looking for one, and they found somebody that was selling one. Stuff like that. It's been quite a journey for me, and it's been quite a journey for me through gun shops, going in and out of gun shops, working at that gun shop. I had to really kind of come to the understanding of, like, okay, what is the gun shop? Working at a gun shop is not the gun industry. It's by far not. Working in a gun shop, I guess there's a lot of pros and cons to it if you're going to decide to venture off into that kind of employment or do that. Unless you're a manager, you're really not going to make any money with it. So keep that in mind. But, I did want to make a video and kind of talk about it a little bit in depth about what it is like working in gun shops. From my perspective, I guess my opinion, and kind of toss that out there and kind of show you that. But I was going to do that in the future, and I'll talk about it. I was going to possibly, again, working on the bits and things and trying to get BATJAC J.W on Patreon for support, and perhaps make some videos that are a little bit more raw and a little bit more, I guess you could say, teeth cutting. And one of the videos I thought about doing was about my experiences, both good and bad, in working in the gun counter and working in gun shops, especially ones out here in Arizona. That I have a lot to say about it because there's a lot of good and bad with it. So it's just something that I think maybe perhaps that if I kind of voice it out a little bit, maybe if somebody that's trying to be interested in that kind of business, give them a little something to think about or a perspective on somebody that has done it for quite a while. And I'm not one that has a very high ego or I guess you could say like all high and mighty, in the gun shop stuff, or I know everything about guns, and I can't, but you know what I mean, those kind of people. So I like to be fair about it, and in my perspective and things that I experienced and all that. So I'll make a video on that, and it'll probably be a part of the Patreon series or something. But anyway, again, just to recap on it, YouTube here will not stop. I will always do YouTube. I'll always be here with you guys making videos, so that's not going to end. But if you do choose to go onto the Patreon account when it's up, I will let you know. I'd appreciate that. Sure, of course, keep this going and keep it rolling. So, anyhow, thanks for listening. I'll let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and be safe. Hang in there and stick with the channel. I'm so glad you guys are subscribed and being along here. It means a lot to me because this is like the family right here. We all get to talk and chat, and like I said, 99% of the time we're all good. Everybody's fine, and the comments are nice and positive and supportive. So thanks for tuning in and thanks for listening. I'm BATJAC J.W. Like, share, and subscribe, and catch you later.